Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a very special guest on the podcast, Princess Uninterrupted. And this is a friend who I came across in the most unforeseen circumstances. I was minding my own business at the Hershey Gardens, and there's this concept that I really believe in, and I call it having a heart magnet. And it's when you're kind of attuned to the similar frequency of someone, and when you're in the same place at the same time, you just keep running into them. And it's kind of so undeniable where it's like this person and I are clearly meant to meet. So I want to introduce you to my friend Deronda today. Before I even bring her on, I just want to say meeting her has positively impacted my life in so many ways. And she introduced me to an entirely new industry that I didn't know existed. And as an entrepreneur, it was my lifeline as I was building my business. And I just wanted to bring her on so that we could A, help people who are already in the industry, but B, introduce people who may be either starting businesses or looking to make a career change or feel like there isn't a way out of the structure of like either I'm in corporate or I'm following my dreams. I just need to stick it out and stay in this job that I hate and I can do what I want as a hobby. There is a different way, and meeting Deronda changed my life because she helps me to really bridge the gap between the life that I wanted and the life that I was living. So it's a truly an honor to introduce you to her today. So Deronda, hello, and thank you so much for being here.
Hey, love
I
the intro, okay?
You basically wrote the intro by just how special you are and the
Oh,
impact that
thank
you've made on my
you.
life.
Yes. It's so wild, like how you mentioned us meeting at Hershey Gardens. I did not plan to even go to Hershey Gardens. Like, I was on my way back from whichever state I was working in or city. And I was like, you know what? I've never been to Hershey Gardens before.
And
Let's go.
I was taking pictures with my aunt, as one does, and you came up and you said, and we took a picture for you, I believe, and
Yeah.
we kept running into each other a span of like 10 times in that little garden. And we were like, okay, we need to connect. And you had mentioned an opportunity that at first I wasn't sure what to make of. You were like, and you explained all these cool experiences that you had had. You're like, I've
Hmm.
gone to Coachella, I've worked the Super Bowl, I've done all of these things. And I got back in touch with you later, and I'll let you explain it. But I just remember that summer after meeting you, I just had reached my wit's end of like trying so hard to make things work. And I reached out to you and you introduced me to the world of being a brand ambassador. And it just completely helped fund my endeavor and my life as I pursued my creative dreams.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So the BA world, or as brand ambassador, or I guess the professional term is experiential marketing industry. We are front facing talent for multiple brands. Typically, we're contractors or it's freelance work, and you get a specific agreement with roles and responsibilities for the brand and a certain time frame that they want you to complete those roles and responsibilities and a certain uniform that you have to wear. It's super cool because you meet people you would never even think of meeting, not just celebrities or famous people. Allison, for example, like uh, meeting at Hershey Gardens, and then I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but our first event that we worked, our first and only event, I didn't even know you were in the BA world yet. Like,
Hmm.
it's so crazy. And when I casually mentioned it at Hershey Gardens with you and your aunt, and I guess I didn't think that I plugged it too much. I was just like, oh yeah, like this is what I do, so on and so forth. And I'm like, she's probably not really gonna look into it. Like it sounds a little scammy. Like what? You get paid to be at the Super Bowl to like promote brands and other huge events, PGA Tour, the NBA All-Star Weekend, and just tons of things. Award shows, Grammys, the BT Awards, the list goes on and on. Seriously, I think that with the industry, it definitely takes special people and it takes a lot of patience and courage to not fear the unknown.
Absolutely. As Deronda mentioned, you are essentially an independent contractor and you're working experiential marketing activations. So it's kind of
Hmm.
like a I don't even want to call it part-time, like it is just contract work. Like let's say that
Yeah,
there's an
it could be
activation.
part-time or full-time, depending on how many contracts you have.
You can work in activation. So whenever there's a big sporting event or whenever there's a concert or whenever there's some sort of marketing campaign,
Yeah.
you can work these gigs and it can be 4 hours or it can be a 3 month commitment, depending on what you're applying
Mhm.
for. And one of the things that really set you apart, number one, was your energy and the way that just you moved to the world, where we were bonding over being nomadic and you're like the only thing that
Right.
leaves my house is my mail. And we kind of got pretty deep even that first time that we met, where we were like, this is freedom, like this is the middle of the
Yes.
weekday, we're at a garden. And that was one of the things that really stuck out to me, is just how it seemed like you had this openness and just this love for life, and you really just loved what you did, where you were like so proud of what you got to do because you enjoyed it so much, and the fact that you were sharing from your heart. And I call that out because as a creator, you're really putting your heart out there and you're not sure how it's landing or being received or if anybody's even listening. And it was so special to be able to then run into you a year later and to be able to tell you how profound the impact that you made just from that one meeting had had on my life.
That's amazing, honestly. And as you mentioned with the community, like the community has been around since I want to say March of last year, and we've grown to over 100 brand ambassadors or just talent creators in the experiential marketing industry or those looking to get into the industry to get some more information. And it's wild because with this freedom, my mindset has changed so much where I'm not really super concerned or prioritizing where it lands or how it lands because it's coming from me. So whoever hears it is meant to hear it. And, if they want to align with us, and that's cool. If they don't, that's also cool. Like,
Mhm.
but this mindset, it's an expansion because of what I'm doing. I've had corporate jobs in the past, and my mindset was very limited. And
What
I
was your,
said I hate all of them. It was just
yeah,
go to work, go to happy hour after work, go home, go to sleep, and do it again.
what was your,
I've always kind of done like BA gigs
Mhm.
part time while still working. But it would be like very rare, like maybe once a week or a few a month, just to fit it in. So I would be like, oh yeah, I need, a little extra cash. Let me book a BA gig. But my background, my degree is in psychology, counseling, and Spanish. But my last job wasn't related to either of those because it was just whatever. It was a job that I was hired for and it was cool, but still not a good fit. It felt like every day was like a race to nothing. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know, that sounds dramatic, but it's like, where am I going? Like, I
I
don't feel
felt,
fulfilled, you
yeah.
know?
The word that came through as you were describing it, and I read energies. I felt like stifling. Like it just
Yeah.
felt like, you weren't able to express yourself fully or,
Yes. Or if you did, you were looked at like crazy, like, oh, you're the one who speaks out too much at work, or you're always trying to change things about the policy or the systems and things. And, because I'm a creative person, a creator. So, like, it was just natural for me to want to say things at work.
there's
And then
that's
holding back, it's like, it brings anxiety and other things too when you're not able to like give your input.
absolutely. I made this art piece once and I was like, artists don't abide by the rules of reality, but it's true because you kind of are able to create a different paradigm that doesn't exist. And what you've created through this network of people, the BA network that you've built,
Yeah.
has been
GGA.
incredible. It's a reflection of the life that you've created for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny too because not only do I have friends involved, I also have family members,
Yeah.
even like older family members as well. Like there's no age limit on this industry. You can jump in at any moment. And that's what's great about it. You can promote for, I don't know, whatever brand that you may like, Apple or Google or Microsoft or whomever, and be 60 years old, 50 years old, like, or
Mhm.
22.
Well, One of the things that I really struggled with when I left corporate was feeling like a failure because my finances hadn't caught up to the success that I was seeing. I felt so fulfilled in my life. It was just the money was not what it once was. And it was so hard on my ego and my sense of self. I couldn't feel successful because I felt like such a failure in this
Yeah.
area of my life. And through finding this work, I was able to just like breathe and exist in a new way. It was the lifeline I needed to fully embrace my artist identity.
Yeah. So, what was your like previous corporate job
I
before?
worked in
Yeah.
corporate tech for like over 10 years. I had
Oh,
made
wow.
six figures from the time I was like 22 years old, but I had no concept of money. I just like spent it as quick as I made it. I wanted to start my business I started it when I was 27 or 28,
Uh-huh.
and it was like all I wanted to do. And so I would just pour my heart and soul into my creations and like I'm making my planners and my programs and master classes. But it was like even when I was getting people to sign up or like creating communities, it was just because this financial element was lacking. It almost felt like
Yeah.
I wasn't able to show up as pure as I needed to. And I don't regret that because I think business is a huge learning experience. But through
Yeah.
finding BA work, it was like, okay, now I have a life that I like and I don't have to worry about money anymore. Like I can
Yes.
make the money that I need to survive and I can still pour my heart and soul into my mission without it being like, okay, I need a coaching client or I can't like buy groceries. Like I hated feeling that way.
Yeah. No, I completely understand because before I started BA full time, I was an entrepreneur and I had an online plant business. And I also was helping with credit restoration, credit repair.
Yeah.
And it was cool. The finances were okay, but I got back into doing BA gigs here and there because the finances weren't more like they weren't enough. They were okay, just like bare minimum for that. But I feel you. Like it's money. You need money.
Yeah.
You need money to pay your bills and then to live, like to do things that you want to do, to have these adventurous trips. And if you want to go to the nail salon, like if you want to get your hair done, people are like, oh, money isn't everything. It's not, but you need money. And you want to also feel like that you're fulfilled and you're doing something that makes sense to you. So then I got into BA completely because I started to notice my energy shifted when I would be at the events. And I'm like, whoa, I feel good. I feel really good about this. I made great money. I'm impacting the community. I'm speaking to thousands of people, depending on how large the event was. And then I get swag afterwards. What? And content? What?
I love working with you as well. So we met, and then it was a full year later. I had started doing BA work in August or September of last year. And when we were assigned together, it was like, I just feel like we have to have some sort of soul connection because we were just on the
Soul
same wavelength.
sisters.
Yeah, we were just on the same wavelength. And the way that I approach activations is just I give it my all. I show up, I give 100% of what I have to give, and I just have a positive attitude. I don't care if I have to be there at 5 a.m. I don't care if it's pouring down rain for
Yep.
12 hours and I'm outside working a
Yes.
tough mudder, which is something that actually happened. I am just so grateful that this exists. I'm grateful
Yes.
that there was a path that I didn't even consider. I'm grateful as an entrepreneur to see what goes into a marketing campaign and to see how brands go to market and how they position their services. I'm grateful to be giving out whether it's free products to groups of people or doing samples at Whole Foods or working a sporting event. I'm so grateful. And what really resonates with me is just you are the same way. Like you just have such an infectious positive energy and
Oh, thank you.
you know you do. You really do. You are one of one. Like your energy and just the way you show up, it really inspires me. I'd like you to touch on this as like the networking piece.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to show up to an activation and just work a job, but one thing that you're incredible at is networking. So I'd like you to kind of touch on that. I think this will be really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So networking, huge. And not even just like networking with other talent or other brand ambassadors. Um, if you're able to, because some contracts may say they don't want you to get contact information from their clients, so on and so forth, right? So you have to be careful about that. But I always, always make sure that I leave every event, whether it's a demo, a liquor tasting, a huge event like the Super Bowl, with at least 2 to 5 good contacts. I have a Google Sheets list of contacts where I met them, how we're connected, and how like I can follow up or be an impact to what they're providing as well. So then maybe down the road something may come of it or not. It's just building up that list because these experiences are once in a lifetime. I don't
Yeah.
view these as anything that's just simple. We are connecting with so many people, so many, whether it's an influencer, a celebrity, production people, producers, CEOs, executive suite people, like millionaires, billionaires, whomever, like
Mhm.
other great brand ambassadors and team leads and all those things. Like connections are key. Even my last few events, so the event that you referred me to, that's from our connection, the Premier Protein event. Allison told me about it. I didn't know where it was. I didn't see it posted anywhere.
It wasn't.
And then even my consistent brand connection was through someone else who knew someone else. So these aren't just events to just work and get a check. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. Everything is it's cool, whatever you want to do. But I would say in the GGA community, we speak on like having that positive impression, not doing too much, not being overly loud or anything like that, but having that positive impression and that connection and great energy. So then you're remembered. And then it's not weird when you reach out for
Mhm.
follow up activations, you know?
Absolutely. 100%. And what I want to touch on two things. Number one, being able to help someone who had helped me so much and refer you to an event that I wasn't personally able to work, that felt so good to me. And I think that that touches on abundance and you get what you put out.
Yes,
And I think sometimes we don't see exactly how, or it can be so easy to get lost in like, it's not here yet, it's not working,
yes,
whatever. And not saying that you're projecting that, that's what I was experiencing internally for a really
yes,
long time. So I wanted to
same.
touch on that in case anybody's listening and feels like I'm putting so much content out or I'm like meeting these people. It's not really leading it to anything. I'm doing a lot of free events and I'm getting signups, but I'm not selling
Yeah,
anything. Just follow your heart and do what feels right, and it will always come back to you. And being able to be on the provider side of that, it felt like this new level of abundance that I personally hadn't experienced in a while. That was so gratifying because it was like I was able to help someone who had changed my life.
yes. It's sharing the wealth.
It is. I think that that's a huge thing that I talk about all the time is like not approaching things through scarcity. There is no scarcity. Any decision you make through scarcity just creates more scarcity. So with these
Exactly.
brand events, I've made a mission where it's like I'm only going to really apply to ones that I actually think sounds like a cool event. I don't
Yes.
necessarily want to just do it for like a quick $100. I want to actually like what
Yeah.
experiences feel really enriching that like I'm lit up and excited by that I can
Yes.
100% show up as my best self.
Yes. Absolutely. That Premier Protein one was a 10 out of 10 because it was for a great cause. We were actually celebrating and appreciating nurses. I had never worked an event like that. We're giving back to the people who are saving lives. So you plugging me into that was like very gratifying, very abundant, paid very well. I had no issues with the agency whatsoever. And I knew I wouldn't because of your energy, how we're aligned, and we're givers, we're receivers, and we're abundant mindset people. So, like you said, thinking that there's a limit and having that scarcity mindset just creates more lack. It's a loop of lack, and people don't understand it. Which again, I always say it's cool. Everything is always okay. If they don't understand, if they never get it, it's okay. But I'm going to continue to live my life the opposite.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, because when you live your life we're on the same wavelength. And so we attract more people who are on a similar wavelength to us
Mm-hmm.
because in this industry, you can find negativity. It's not
Yes,
hard to find, but you also can find just as much positivity. Like you outweigh 10 negative people that I don't even remember their names. Do you know what I mean? What you focus on is what grows. And I think this podcast is even a testament to that. Like, this is where we're putting our energy. And I know that this is the beginning of something. You just don't know where anything's going to lead in life. These experiences are so valuable and it could turn into something completely different. Steve Jobs did a commencement speech and he was talking about how he took a typography class in college and that ended up being the text in Apple, like how the
oh
letters
wow,
looked, where it was like art and design. And his whole thing was like the intersection of art and technology. And so learning about this, even I take it far after we're doing brand ambassador work, it will probably still have some sort of impact, especially as a creative entrepreneur.
for sure. Yeah, I really do think this is the beginning or of whatever is coming
Mhm.
from this collaboration. And I want to say in one of my like manifestation journals or something, I wrote something about being on a podcast. Like
I love.
I have to go back and look. It might have been a year or so ago, 9 months or so ago. And I wrote about that. GGA also has a YouTube, and I was posting on YouTube, but not getting much traction. I'm just like, you know, how you say, like, you're just looking for results. Like, you're putting in all the work and you're looking for the results, and like, boom, no need to look anymore. It's here.
What I've found, and the biggest lesson in my life lately is just when it's easy, it flows so much better. Like when it's easy, when you're not forcing yourself to do things. And I feel like the brand ambassador role has allowed me to let things be slow. Like I get to take action more from like this place of this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it versus like this has to work, otherwise I've failed. I just remember when I applied to my last job in corporate, like recently when it was in April, and I had reached my like wits end where I was just like I felt like I was struggling for the last time, and I was like I just don't want this to be so hard anymore. And I completely let go of that old identity and just embraced work for what it was. I no longer viewed it as a means to an end. I was like, I just enjoy my life. This is something fun that I get to be paid for. I'm grateful for every opportunity. If I have to keep doing this for however much amount of time, it doesn't matter. It's all experiences and it's people. And I'm no longer going to put a limit on myself. Like this is how it works and this is what it's going to be. And I'm going to continue to show up every day for the things that I love that are important to me. And I'm going to work fun events. And I could see myself even doing this long after I don't even need to.
There's agency owners who will occasionally work events just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
I was on LinkedIn and I saw one of the agency owners with her daughter, and her daughter's probably like 20 at this point or something like that. She went back and worked with her daughter one of the events. Her agency had connected with the client and all that. They had it set up and she worked the activation. And she's like, it's a full circle moment, you know?
Yeah, because
Because
it is
that's where she
fun.
started. And now her daughter's doing it. She's teaching her the ropes and all the things. So, long story short, yeah, you can continue to do it for as long as you want to. As long as you maintain your energy. I was speaking actually to a group of DGA members yesterday about maintaining good energy, regardless of what age you are, showing up, knowing that you're going to have a great day, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whether it's hot, 95 degrees outside, and that you're meant to be there and you're meant to get paid well and you're meant to have fun at work. Work can be fun. Nothing wrong with that.
One of my favorite ways about how you present yourself as well is you set yourself aside apart as like a luxury brand experience provider. So I was wondering if you could speak to that. And when I see you, I do think luxury, the way that you present yourself, like you really,
Thank
it's
you.
absolutely beautiful. Yes.
Thanks. At the beginning of my BA journey, I was showing up okay, I would say. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to turn it up a notch. I'm going full time. I need to make sure if it's a luxury event, whether it's like a boat show or more kind of premium events, I might have to steam my clothing. I might have to make sure I have a BA to go kit in my car to freshen up, because a part of luxury is hygiene. Okay, looking the part.
Yeah.
And then making sure that I don't have a face that looks crazy in a sense where I'm looking mad or something's wrong, because I've been in this industry a while and I've seen that, and I've seen how that affects the audience, and people don't want to engage.
Front facing representing a brand when you're
Yes. And then even like the whole like being on your phone and scrolling and looking down, and all the things that we know we shouldn't be doing and the things that we know we should and shouldn't be doing. It just elevates the experience overall for not only us but like the targeted audience, right? And the brands, like the client, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're doing a great job. We want to book you again. What are you doing next week?" So just doing that. Let's not forget, we're contractors. You can have a break when you need to take a break.
it's being in control of your own energy,
Yes.
where you get to decide how you show up regardless of what's happening externally, and remembering that you are essentially a brand as well.
Yes. Yep. And even elevating to the extent of having your own brand portfolio, not just resume, but like a website or a link tree, a bunch of photos that you can send over, something that sets the person apart ultimately, to show that they're luxury or their premium talent. A lot of people may complain about the rates being lower than what they were used to previously or just in general, but give them a reason to actually want to pay more.
Mhm.
Like show up, stand out, not overly excessive, not overly loud and rude or anything like that, but do what you need to do to show that you're a luxury person. You're not here to play games. This is work. Like it's fun, but it is still work at the same time.
One of the things that you've mentioned a few times that I really want to amplify is this idea that you don't have to be the loudest one. And I think that positive energy speaks louder than words, and your presence can make all the difference. And if you're showing up and you have a positive attitude, you're genuinely happy to be there, you are just soaking in the experience, you're there to meet people, you're there to spread joy and spread brand awareness,
Right.
that will get you far farther than just being loud. Because you said that's a common misconception that you run into.
Yes. Have you seen that?
I just have seen some negativity, just kind of like tiredness, or maybe people who overcommit themselves, or like people who are just in survival mode, which is understandable. I don't want to speak on anybody's specific situation, but what I've and from my experience is that even when I'm going through something really challenging and hard, you just have to see the light and you just have to be grateful for what comes your way. Own your worth and know that your current location is not your final destination. So if you are in a place where you're even working a corporate job now and you're not really enjoying it, it's still your responsibility to be the best version of yourself, regardless
Right.
of what your circumstances are.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. Even knowing that we are accountable for those circumstances because we made
Yes.
those choices,
Mhm.
whether it's a corporate job, like you applied for that job and then you got hired and then you said yes. And then you started to
Yes.
go on Monday through Friday.
Yes. That
Even
is
the
so
BA
important.
world. Yeah, BA world too. There's events like you said, you apply to things that you know you're aligned with it, you're gonna have fun, it'll be cool. And those people who may possibly be in survival mode, and I'm fully aware of survival mode, I've experienced that. They may just apply to a bunch of different opportunities because bills need to get paid.
They think that they have to do it that way.
Exactly. But also knowing that there's an accountability aspect, and you submitted that application and then you show up and then you're like, I don't want to do this demo.
I just think any decision made out of scarcity creates more scarcity. It can be really hard to hold the energy. But one of the things that I like about your community is that you really challenge people to set goals and to get clear on what their desires are, to get clear on their intentions. That's something that I'm very big on in my own brand universe and the work that I create. So I think that those things are really important as well.
Because ultimately, GGA is a network and also professional development. Because if we're working these activations throughout the week and we're considered full time or part time, ultimately it's a career. It's what we chose to do to fulfill our needs overall, right? So then it's like, well, why not grow? Why not develop professionally in this career that we decided that we wanted to do? I think with the GGA network, the challenges and being clear on the goals that we want are very important versus just getting booked and getting a check and then going on to the next one.
Mhm.
So that's what we do in GGA. We have meetups as well. What else? What else have you seen in there, Allison?
You helped me because I only had a corporate resume. So you helped me get clear on creating, you have modules on like creating a brand ambassador resume. It's also a space where opportunities are posted that aren't posted elsewhere. There's
Yes.
networking opportunities where people will write in their experiences and other people will
Yeah.
comment. So it's supporting community and something that can otherwise be pretty isolating, or you're only really interacting with brands as opposed to other people that you would be working with. But the connections with the people that I've met have been some of the most valuable experiences, both the people that I've worked amongst my peers, but also the agencies that I've been assigned to. And that's how I get most of my gigs now is through referrals, through jobs that I've worked in the past where they'll reach out to me and that's how I get gigs basically.
Yes. The networking is the key at the end of the day. And yeah, we have the resume writing, we have the social media profile updating, we have something about creating your own brand portfolio website. What else do we have? Information about headshots. We're connected with a professional photographer who will take your headshots if you need those with our GGA membership code and everything. So, yeah, we have a lot in there.
And live events. You did a live event in DC, and
Yeah.
for special listeners of the podcast, we're going to be creating a wait list where we're going to be doing a picnic in Philadelphia this September.
Ooh. Listen, I'm excited.
I know it's going to be amazing. So, this is a crossover with the Calendar Club. So, we're going to be doing some craft manifesting as well as setting our intentions around brand ambassador work or even just around career and what's possible.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, it's all like what we're doing is a career. So I think that including people who may not even want to get into the BA world would still be cool, you know?
Mhm.
Like, or they may want to do a gig here and there. That's still fine. That's how I started. So just seeing what's out there, expanding your horizon.
What advice would you have for someone who listens to this and's like, this is so cool. Like, what do I do? Where would you send them? Or is there a way that people can
Ooh.
connect with you and learn next steps about how this works?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing I would say is to look at my own personal pages first to see if it's something that I would actually be interested in because I post a lot of my events. So I would say go to my Instagram and you can see all of my activations from the past, probably like 2 years or so, and get a feel for what it is. And then if you want to take the next step to elevate in the industry and develop professionally, then there's a link in my bio to go to the GGA Network in that Instagram page. And then there's also a school link if you want to be plugged into the private community on the GGA Instagram page. It's network. My page is it's Deronda, and that's about it.
And then what would you say? Okay, I have two more questions for you.
Yeah,
Number one, who is this kind of work for? Like, if somebody's listening, they're like, like, who would you say would be a good person for this kind of work?
that's a good question. I feel like so honestly, it's open to really anyone. However, if you want to do well and if you want to elevate, I would say have an open mind um, and be ready to learn, right? But you can honestly be any age, any race, any body build, any background. You don't have to have certain college degrees or anything like that. It's pretty much open to anyone. However, elevation does require an open mindset to learn that you are more than just a brand ambassador, right? You're more than just a number on a roster of talent, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Yes, that's amazing. My next question, what has been your favorite activation or coolest experience that you've gotten to do as a result of this work?
oh, that's a good question. There's been so many. Okay, this is at the top.
Hmm.
TikTok had a private event in DC. There was a lot going on because of a lot of political things going on. However, I put that all aside. I'm like, no, like I'm here to be the face for TikTok, right? I'm here to support the brand. I'm here to greet all of these guests. The people that were invited were rappers,
Wow.
TikTok influencers, political figures, just people that were up there that I didn't even know who they were, but other people knew them. But the energy in there was very much, how can I describe it? You know how at other events that are like open to the public or free, sometimes it may seem that people are expecting a lot of things from you, in a sense, or from the event, even though it's free. Well,
Hmm.
this one, they had really great swag bags. They barely wanted them, but it was great because towards the end of the night, they were like, wait, where's my box with all of my glasses, branded TikTok glasses and everything? It was so cool to see the switch up. But also, they were all like pleasant people. They weren't bothered by anything. Like, they're like, you guys are doing a great job, so on and so forth. They were trying to tip us. We didn't take any tips, but it was a good environment, good music. I think one of the rappers performed right in front of us. Like, it was just a once in a lifetime experience because that was never on my bucket list.
Hmm.
And then I got to go home with like a TikTok branded hoodie, beanie. I had all of the things. It was
Yeah,
cool. Oh, it was during the time TikTok was going to be shut down.
I remember that.
Yes. And they only picked 4 brand ambassadors.
That sounds like a huge honor to have been able to work that. That's such a cool event, and that's something that you'll remember forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it
I
was cool.
I do view one of the perks as the proximity. It's so cool to be in these spaces, even working it. You know how they say like get in the room? You're in the room.
Absolutely. Even my recent post, I was on the news.
Yeah, that was incredible.
So unexpected. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, hey there, what are you giving out? I'm like, wait, are you talking to me?
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah,
Do you think you can manifest good VA gigs?
I know I can manifest anything that I want.
Yeah. You can manifest anything that you want. So for anybody listening to this who wants to manifest good BA gigs, make sure to come to our picnic in September. We'll be
Yeah.
talking all about that stuff.
Oh, I'm excited for the picnic. I know my manifestations now. I've outgrown certain methods
Yeah,
because now, for me, since I've elevated overall, my manifestations are here and they happen.
I believe it.
You
100%.
you're probably on that same like type of time. So
I love getting clarity and like writing things down. Just, I don't need to do it for it to happen, but I do find that things happen almost instantly. But I find
yes,
that when I'm stuck on something, it helps to reframe the situation. Like I
yes,
think when sometimes you want something too badly, it blocks it. So
yes,
like DS.
yeah. Providing that additional clarity is absolutely important, especially well, depending where you're at with your manifestation journey.
Where do you hang out on the internet that people can get in touch with you and learn more about this amazing industry?
Ooh. So you can find me on Instagram. My handle is ITSDERONDUH. And then the GGA Network page is at GGA Network.
Amazing. That's so easy. I'll make sure to
Yeah.
include links. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up the interview? Anything you feel like you wanted to touch on or say?
Oh, this was meant to happen. And I'm excited. This is literally the beginning, Allison. And I feel it. We're about to be making some moves, some
I
major
feel
moves.
it.
And I'm excited for whoever's coming with us as well and all the good energy and great talents because it's time. We've already invested a lot and the fruits of our labor, like we're seeing it now.
I'm so grateful to have met you, and I'm so grateful that you shared your time and energy with us today on the podcast. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone listening today. Make sure to go follow Deronda, follow the GGA Network. You can always reach out to me if you have any questions, but Deronda is going to be the expert on answering your BA questions and how you can get involved with this. And thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. See you
Thanks for having me.
next episode. Bye.